Hey guys, RC here, back with the next edition of our Dwarf Fortress tutorial. We are doing version 4305R08 of Lazy Noob Pack. Again, I just wanted to do an updated tutorial to try to help newer players to the game. Most of the really good tutorials, and I'm not even saying mine will be anywhere close to that, but the ones like Captain Duck, those were from like version 34, version 28. They don't really apply anymore. Now, a lot of the basics are the same, but there's a lot of additions to the game that just aren't there anymore. I wanted just to do an updated, just a tutorial, and that's why we're breaking it down into such detail in each video. So let's go into here. And what we had done is I had dug some downward stairs, and if we hit K to look, it does tell us that those are downward stairways. We come down here and we just have a floor, and it was claystone, but it iced over. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build. All right, this is going to be physically building something. We want to do construction, which is Shift C, walls, floors, stairs, or tracks. And I want to build up, down stairs. All right, now I'm going to use UMKH to change the height and the width. Actually, I'm going to turn on my box select. This is something with DF Hack. I do want to make it hollow. All right, and we're going to start in one corner with an enter. And you'll notice this shows up over here, kind of mimicking what we just did, and you can see the middle is left out, and I want to make this with ice. I don't know if they will actually be able to do that if they can get down there. We'll see. Yep, there they go. Now the problem is, will this melt at some point? All right, well, now they're down into some solid rock, and that's what we were hoping for. So what I might do, just in case this ever melts, I might remove these and leave one and then replace the other ones with rock that I know will be solid all the time. Now, of course, I think we're in a frozen biome. I mean, we are on a glacier, so that should not be an issue whatsoever. All right, looks like we are done digging to here, so let's pause. And the first thing I want to do, now you notice they have this thing down here called priority. If you don't ever touch it, everything stays the same, and that's why you notice everything showing up in that solid brown. If you actually want to prioritize things, basically you would set it to a 1. Literally, the second I change it, you can't change it back. So I might leave it off for a while, but if you want, I want this hallway dug first, I would set it to 1 and then mark that area. And then, okay, I want these 2 rooms next. Those would be 2s. And then I can go somewhere else and go, okay, dig this area out 3, come back down here and do 2 more rooms 4. And so you could set up 7 distinct areas to dig. And I'll do that at some point if we play long enough in this one. Again, I just want to show a lot of the basics to get started. So I'm going to leave it as it is right now, but we are going to mine, so that's designate mine, DD. I want doors there. We're going to go with a hallway here, and I'm going to go with a hallway here. Now, you don't come up to the edge, because when you dig out, let's go up to the top here. When we dug out here, it leaves a wall. So you need that wall space between you and, between where you're digging and the next room, or it'll just be one open space. So if I started digging a room here, it would all just open up into the hallway. It would be like a big open room. If I wanted a door, then I'm going to want to do that. All right, I'm just going to be designating out some digging spots here. All right, and we're going to come down to there. And I think now see, this would be where it would be good maybe to make a designated area, because dwarves are not the smartest guys in the world by any stretch of the imagination. And they will do the stupidest things. Alright, and we're going to come down here to the hallway. Actually, I want to make a doors there. Alright, so that's what we're going to designate out there. Now, what happens if you don't want them to, you want them to dig certain things? Well, we can go in and designate an X, remove a designation. Alright, well, I'm going to want them to remove there, there, and there. That way they will dig out these 4 rooms and the hallways, but they will not access these 4 rooms or this hallway until we connect it. So, alright, so escape, space to unpause, and here they go. So they're off and they're going to be digging away. This is where I really wish I had the ability to pause the recording and come back when they were done, but I don't have that ability. I use OBS, which does not have a pause function, so be it. That's why you get me live and in person. All right, now, very similar. We have ice there. And in fact, I need to make a hot zone here. So we're going to do Shift H. Remember that? All right. Shift H for hotkey. F2. Z to zoom to this location. It locked it in. And I want to name it. So in. And this is going to be my shops. All right. And I'm actually going to do this again. You notice I moved over a little bit. F1. Zoom. That's my gate and my depot. All right. So now instead of using the shift and greater than and less than to go down 5 levels, all right, I can hit F2 and boom, I'm there. All right. So that's hotkeys are excellent for you. And you see he was digging here in the hallway, then he got sidetracked into the room. You know, it's just... And I am making sure that this is actual stone. So what I want to do is I want to tear this down. So we're going to go Q over the depot, and I want to remove that building. So X. So it's slated for removal. My mason should come take care of that, and there he is breaking it apart. All right, now I want to build the depot back, same place, but I want to build it with microline now, and actually I want to build it with claystone. Let's do 2 claystone and 1 microline. I wanted it to be a different color just so it was easier to see against that ice, but oh well. And that's a different ore that we dug out somewhere. All right, so they're bringing that claystone in here. All right, okay, now pause. We have 2 rooms that are dug out. So the first thing I want to do is I want to build a building. So building, and I want to build a workshop. So that's going to be a lowercase w right here. A workshop, and I want to build a mason shop, so that's a lowercase m. Now, I dug my rooms 5 by 5. You could do 4 by 4, 3 by 3, but you see the mason's room is, all the workshops are 3 by 3. So this gives me room to put stuff around it, to move. And I also want you to look real close. You see how some of these X's are like a bright green, and then these 3 are like a dull green. The dull green are the open areas to walk into that workshop. The bright greens are physical points. Picture if you walked into an office and they had the counter. Well, the counter, you can't walk through the counter. That would be like these bright green ones. The light green ones you can walk through, so that would be like the swinging door on a hinge to get into the back room. And that's where they would actually come to work in the shop. So that's more important when it comes to, if you do have a 3 by 3 room, you want to give them room from the door to get into that spot. So you'd want the door here coming into the side rather than the top or the bottom, or they couldn't get in. So, and again, there's no rhyme or reason to these rooms. Oh, and I didn't lock it in. So mason, enter, make it out of claystone, and then I want a mechanic shop, enter. We'll make that one out of claystone as well. All right. All right. Build workshop. I want to build a crafts dwarf shop. That was R. Out of claystone. And those guys should start coming to build their respective places. All right, now there's an announcement. It popped up down here. All right, so and we get announcements for everything, what kind of ore we've struck. But this is what's important. You remember how we looked at the units and then we could zoom to that unit like we did with the mountain goats? Well, we're going to highlight that with the green arrow. That's up and down arrows. And we can zoom to that location. Now, the zoom is not accurate, but you move it one time and it's right there. So now I want to come and I just want to click on it, or I could hit Q, which is to set the building task, and it's suspended. Well, we want to unsuspend it, so we hit S, and they should try to build it again. Don't know what was there, but that's what it was. Okay, they have finished digging everything out, so I want to come and designate this hallway, and this hallway. Escape, and now they should start come digging when they're done. And here I can hit U, and I can look at the units. Both my miners are drinking, my expedition leader's constructing a building, my mason is eating. All right. Build workshop. I'm going to build a carpenter workshop here. And I'm going to use claystone. All right, now here's where we're going to do something that's going to take a little bit of work. Okay, so we're going to pause it. I want to build a stockpile. All right, this is P. And I'm going to build a quantum stockpile. So actually so P and W for wood. And I want to come up to the back row here, and I want to build that. That's going to be a stockpile for wood. I want to build another stockpile for wood, just 1 square wide, but I want it separate. All right, now I want to build a building that's going to be some type of construction for a track. And in this case, I want it to be a track stop. All right, and this will make sense as we do it. All right, but I want to use the D button to activate or change my direction. Right now it's dumping not at all. I want it to dump south because I'm going to build the track stop here between these 2 stockpiles. So I want it to dump into this one lone stockpile. And we're going to hit enter. But you got to make sure before you do that that you have it facing the right direction. All right, and I will use microline to do that. All right, and then I'm going to hit Q, which I call query, and I want to come to this single stockpile, and now I want to hit A. Right now it's set to take from anywhere. I want it to take from links only. Okay? And then the other one we're going to leave taking from anywhere. All right? So when they grab the wood, they will put it here, but not here. Okay? And that'll make sense a little bit later. Some of these guys should start coming in with building the track stop. Some should start bringing in the wood. And there is the track stop right there. All right, so our workshops are done. Now here's where we're going to do something else. This is also something part of DF Hack, which comes with Lazy Noob Pack. We're going to query our Dwarf shop. And I want to add a new task. So A, and then I want to make something out of rock here. So G, and then we're going to use our plus and minus keys. I want to make nest boxes. All right, I want to repeat this. All right, now here's where the command is not here. You just have to know this. I want to use the workshop command ability from DF Hack. So we're going to hit Alt W. It's called workflow. The first time you use it, it'll say it's not enabled. Do you want to turn it on? Hit Y for yes. Okay, now the screen is here. I want to add a limit, Shift A. I want nest boxes of any rock. All right, and now I want to Shift R to set my range. That's not down here, but oh yeah, it is right here. Shift R for the range. I'm going to use the backspace to delete that. And you can set anything you want. You want 100 nest boxes? Make 100. So what I want is I want 1-3. All right, so what that means is they'll make 3 nest boxes anytime they make any. They'll get it to where we have 3 in our inventory. When we get down to 1, then they will turn it back on and make more. All right, so we're going to escape out of that. I want to add a new task, A. I want to make rock pots. Repeat, Alt W. Alt W gets you into the workflow. Shift A to add a limit. Pots of rock, 5 to 10 is good. I want those. We use pots for storage, and rock pots are great because they don't use the wood. It's basically a barrel made out of rock. Okay, so it doesn't use wood, which we can't spare. All right, I want to add a new task. We need mugs. Repeat, Alt W, Shift A, goblets of rock. So we'll be drinking out of rock cups, basically. Shift R, and I want 10 to 15 of those. Now I got a warning, our goblet level is low because we don't have any. All right, escape, and you notice all those are there and they're all active. And then I want to add one more. And we're using plus and minus to move through here. I want crafts. Repeat, Alt W, Shift A, and Shift R. And I want 50 to 100 crafts. These are little knickknacks that they're going to make out of stone. And it will be things that we can trade. All right, so that's what I want there. Then we're going to come to our carpenter shop. I want to make 7 beds, and I'm going to want to make a couple of bins and a bucket. Now you can line up 10 things at a time or 10 things maximum. All right. Now then I want to come down to my mechanisms. A, make rock mechanisms. So T, repeat. What do we hit to go into the workflow? That's right, Alt W. Shift A to add a limit, mechanisms of rock, 5 to 10. Now, if you want to build a bridge, It takes one mechanism to make the lever to control the bridge, and then two more mechanisms, one to hook up to the lever and one to hook up to the bridge to make it work. When you pull the lever, the bridge will close or open. All right, so so every time you're going to do something with a mechanism, you need at least 3, and so I always try to keep 10 on hand. And that's the only thing I'm going to build there. And then we're going to come here, and I want 2 tables, 2 chairs, and a handful of doors. All right, and then I'll deal with the mason shop later. But that'll give them all work to do, and they will start working. Now you see they're bringing wood in. All right. Oh, the other thing I need, in fact, before I make that bucket, I want to cancel that. So see, I highlighted it, cancel. All right, add a new task, and I'm using the up-down arrows, and I want a minecart. And I want to promote that task to do, and I want to do it now. So it moves it up to the top. All I did was hit in, and it did it now. All right, and that's designated by the exclamation point. So he should grab some wood and make me a mine cart, and then we'll show how to deal with that. All right, so they're digging away. We've got our workshops underway. All right, he's sleeping in the wood stockpile. You see our little guy here got a piece of stone, and they'll get their own stone. You can make stockpiles, but right now we don't have enough dwarves, and they're all busy doing something. So all right, I really wish he would have finished this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to designate, and now I'm going to use the plus-minus key to set the priority to number 1. Now, I guess I can hit Alt-P. Okay, if I hit Alt-P, that actually turns it off. So they did add in the ability to reset that, but I do want it on because I want those 2 to be the first thing done. All right, and the reason I want that is now I want to build a stockpile, so P, and let's bring in our leather, so that's L. I don't need a whole lot of space, but let's make 1 row for leather. H is for cloth, and G is going to be for my finished goods. All right, so that's going to be that area. All right, he should have made his minecart by now. So now what I want to do is I want to do H for hauling. Now this is complicated. It's not complicated once you understand it. But so what we've done is we built our 2 stockpiles for wood. We built our track stop, and if I mouse over, you can see down at the bottom right it says track stop. So now I want to go to H for hauling. I want to do R for a new route. And I want to name this route, nickname. This is going to be my wood pile. Enter. And now you have to place that. So you're going to do that with a S for new stop. So we're going to go over the track stop, and there's my stop. Boom. All right. Now, if we want it to go from one place to another place, then we would actually go to another place and put in another stop. But in this case, I only want 1 stop right here. All right. I want to assign a vehicle, so V, and there's my mine carts. If I didn't have any, it would give me a warning you don't have any mine carts available. Mine carts can only be built, well, they can be built out of metal and rock, but they're heavy and nobody could ever push them. All right, so we're going to use the plus and minus. We're going to select that and hit enter. Now, you notice the red V showed up. Well, that's because there's a vehicle assigned, but it's not there yet. All right, now, here's where this gets tricky. Even though we already had these set up to be wood stockpiles, we need to we need to go to, again, the plus and minus key. We're going to go to stop 1, and we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to hit X to delete everything that's here. All right? This is to remove conditions and links. So we're just going to delete everything. So right now we've got a wood stockpile, a track stop with a mine cart that's going to be there, and it's not going to do anything. So now we need to, I don't need to set a depart condition. Well, yeah, I do. So we're going to hit in. I want to guide it which direction. Well, we have it dumping south, right? So direction south, and condition when full of desired item. All right. Now, then we want to add a stockpile link. So we're going to use our arrow buttons to go up to the wood stockpile, anywhere on it, and watch what happens. I'm going to hit S for stockpile link. So they're going to take from this stockpile. Now I'm going to go to the other stockpile. I'm going to hit S again. But I don't want them to take from there. I want to toggle the take give, which is T. So now they're going to give. So they're going to take from here, put it in the minecart, dump south when it's full to here. We're not done yet. That looks like everything you have to do, but for some reason, even though these are designated as wood stockpiles, we have to go to the first one, hit enter, and look what happened. Wood is not lit up. So we have to hit E to enable that. And then you can choose, do you only want certain types of wood? Do you want all wood? Well, we're going to leave it for all wood. We're going to escape. And I'm going to go down with the plus button. I'm going to hit enter here. Now you see, just because we toggled one of them, it already turned on the other one. Okay? So place your stock, make your conditions, and then make sure the last thing you go into either one of them and actually enable for the resource that you're hauling in this place. All right, now we're done there, so I'm going to back out.
How many slices do you want? 4.
And I'm going to hit escape and play again. And we should see somebody bring the minecart in. There it is. All right, we have a snowstorm that's come. So if we go outside, it's snowing and covering up all this ice. All right. I want to designate, I want these to be number 1 again. I wanted to try to do one room at a time. So he'll finish the one he's working on and then come back over. All right, I want to do the hallways here. All right, unpause. All right, so more stockpiles. P. I want to make this for furniture. And we're going to do all furniture right now. Just, you know, because we need it. We need it there. All right, I want to look at my units. So unit list, U. All right, so I have one miner that's sleeping, one that's digging up here. All right, and I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and put a break here, and we'll continue. So here, you know, last video we learned how to build a depot. We learned how to dig into a mountain. We learned how to dig stairs. You know, we learned how to fix a problem with stairs that we caused for ourselves. And we've learned how to dig out rooms. We've learned how to use the priority. We've learned how to build workshops. We've learned how to do stockpiles. So there was an awful lot. So what we're going to look for in this new, in this next video is how to start expanding. Basically right now you've got the nuts and bolts of the game. So now we need to get into food. So we're going to have to build our farms, get food production underway, get a brewing operation underway, get our managers and bookkeepers' offices set up. So there's a lot to still do before we're even remotely functional. And my animals are starving because there's no grass out here. So I think what we're going to do is have to slaughter them, and we'll do that after we dig up to for a farm, and we will go in that direction in the next video. So guys, again, I hope this helps any of the new guys coming to Dwarf Fortress. It's a great game. It's free, and the guy makes, I don't know, $6,000 to $8,000 a month just on donations, and that's great. That's a great living, and this is what they do for a living, and they keep it up to date regularly. But kudos to them for a great game. It's not graphics driven, but it is a very, very playable game. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye.